everybody, it is Calxiyn here. If you guys enjoy this video, remember that you guys should become patrons over on Patreon to support the channel. But if you guys just want to get notified about more RWBY videos, you guys should subscribe. I don't know what that was, I'm sorry. So today we are going to talk about Adam, because I have one last Adam theory before I think that we'll really get into the thick of it, if that makes sense. So let's just get into it. Let's just dive right in, I guess. So I guess a little bit of backstory. So the reason why I cover so many theories on the channel, even if they seem like a little crazy, is because last season I was talking with Hunter, and I was like, Hunter, we should do a video on how Ravens really is the Spring Maiden. It's not Vernal. And Hunter was like, no. Like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't say it like that, but he was like, Cal, like, they already did this. Like, I don't think, like, that's not really a theory. Like, there's nothing there. And then, obviously, then it happened. And that's why Hunter's not here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's why Hunter's not in this video. He's banished. No. But I decided from then, okay, even if it seems crazy, apparently I have the right kind of, like, RWBY Prophet crazy, like, for this channel. And, like, this week I've had a lot of wins, okay? Like, we guessed that the blonde woman was Salem, we guessed that there would be a genie in the relic, like, we just got all of the wins this week, you know what I mean? And so I am, like, I am here, I am ready, like, to do all of the crack theories, because I don't know if they're crack or not, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll find out. But I really like the theory that Adam hopped onto the train and this wasn't Blake hallucinating, right? Because I feel like it's sort of two things. So, I feel like it's kind of interesting because the writers have maybe accidentally, or maybe even on purpose, they put us in Blake's mind, right? Because now all of us are sort of arguing, like, oh, was this an hallucination? Like, is she seeing things? Like, maybe it was real, right? And that's what Blake is probably thinking. She was probably like, oh, like, it was just an hallucination, right? Like, I'm just hallucinating, he's not really there, but what if he was, right? Like, I feel like that the inner conflict that Blake is having with herself, like, when she sees Adam on the train, or when she thinks that she sees Adam on the train, whatever, is sort of like the conflict that we're having right now. I guess, I don't want to say conflict in the fandom, right? But I'm saying that a lot of us are like, no, it's just an hallucination, but some of us are like, but what if it wasn't, right? And so I feel like that's kind of where we are, if that makes sense. Like, that's at least the side that I'm on, is I'm like, okay, but what if it wasn't? Like, what if it wasn't? What are the implications? And so I want to give some evidence, though, for this theory, right? Because this isn't just an idea, like, this is a theory, okay? So, my first thing is the caboose, or the staff door, or whatever happened. Like, Crow was like, well, one of you chuckle fucks left the staff door open, and they were like, I didn't do it, well, I didn't do it, dummy. Like, they keep having this back and forth, and when I first saw that scene, I interpreted it as, oh, Crow, like, has some control over his bad luck, he made them have bad luck, and then the door opened. But what if that wasn't the case? What if neither of them actually left the door open, and what if Adam opened the door and snuck in, right? Snuck in the train. I feel like that would be, like, an aha moment for us as the audience to go, oh! Right, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's why Crow had that line about the caboose, or the staff entrance, or whatever, right? And so Adam would just be chilling like a villain in there. So that's one. Two is that, obviously, there's, like, the hallucination part, right? And a lot of people are arguing, like, if they're on this side of things, I'll say, they're arguing that, I guess, like, he's wearing the hood over his eyes, so if the scene where he rips off the mask from the trailer happens later, like, after he kills the White Fang people, right, then that would make sense that he's wearing the hood because his eyes are covered. A lot of people are also saying, well, why would Blake imagine him like that? Because she's never seen him like that before, and, like, we haven't even seen him, like, with a hood on before, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, people think. And so I agree with that. I think that's interesting, but at the same time, they could just be reusing the model. Like, Blake could have just imagined him, like, with his hood up to make him more scary, I don't know, right? Because a lot of people ask the same thing of Emerald, like, how did Emerald imagine RWBY in her new clothes? Like, it was just them reusing the model. But at the same time, I feel like that they already have a model with his mask on, so why would they make another model with his hood up if he's not really there and it's just to make him look scary for, like, this 3-second scene. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't understand that, because, like, again, if they were like, oh, Cal, like, they're just reusing the model, like, why wouldn't they use, like, his regular one that they worked on, like, obviously for the scene where he kills all the people, instead of, like, oh, we should make this new model with him wearing the hood that's never gonna come up again. Like, obviously he's coming after Team RWBY, it's just how far he's gonna get, and if he's even gonna get there, right? And so, him being on the train is the easiest way he would have gotten there, in my opinion. So that's the other thing. The third thing is that there's sort of this, I don't want to say it's a throwaway line, but it's just a random line that I haven't seen a lot of people think about, but Blake says something sort of interesting, right? She says, like, in response to the relic, like, oh, like, we need to protect that, like, if somebody had that power, like, if that power got into the wrong hands, like, that, I feel like, is a reference to Adam, like, that's what she's thinking about. She's imagining, like, oh my god, like, what if this, or any of the other relics, like, what if these things got into the hands of someone like Adam, like, what could he do, right? Like, I feel like that's sort of the implication there, or that's sort of the intention is, you know, that's her in her head. She's like, that's who she's thinking of. Because she's thinking of, like, she saw Adam turn into somebody who was corrupt, right? And so I feel like that's sort of the idea, or that's sort of, like, the gist of what she's saying. She's like, I've seen shit happen before, and, like, if Adam, like, or somebody like Adam had the relics, we'd all be fucking dead, right? So I feel like that's the other part, if that makes sense. Like, that's the idea, right? Is that he may come up in the scene with the train when they still have the relic, and maybe he'll try to use it. And that'll be sort of foreshadowing, and that's like Blake's worst nightmare, if somebody like Adam got a hold of the relic, and then maybe for a moment he does, and they have to protect it, they have to guard it. Another reason why I just think that this is super viable, I guess, as a theory, is because there has to be, like, there's always been some sort of fight climax, if you guys think about it. I don't think that there was necessarily one in Volume 5, but, like, for Volume 4, for example, that has, like, that follows a very, I don't want to say a strict outline, but, like, right in the middle of the season for episodes 6 and 7? Or is it 5 and 6? Right, like, in the climax of the season, the Tyrion and Crow fight starts. And that was a really good fight, that was a really good sort of way of story direction, if you want to call it that. Like, there was a nice, like, rise, climax, and sort of everything else, and then you had the Nuck fight, which was, like, the season-end fight, but this would be a mid-season fight, is fighting Adam. Because then afterwards, right, Hazel is looking for Team RWBY. Cinder and possibly Neo, if they team up, that's a whole other video we did, they're looking for Team RWBY, right? Everyone is looking for Team RWBY, and so if Adam gets there first, he gets his ass kicked, and then we all feel relieved. We're like, wow, like, they beat Adam, like, good for them, like, things are actually going their way for once, and then, like, boom, 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 they're just like, everyone is here, like, no, right? That's not good, like, that's not good, you know what I mean? That's not good for them. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that Cinder versus Neo, and the, like, in this scenario where Adam did get on the train and wants the relic and all that, if he's, I guess, gonna fight them, right, it's gonna happen, like, because it's 14 episodes, I feel like what's gonna happen is Cinder and Neo are gonna happen, say, episode 4 and 5, right? Adam is gonna happen episode 5 and 6, and then boom, like, everything just starts going to shit, you know what I mean? Because there's 14 episodes here. And so just when Team RWBY thinks that they're safe, everyone is, like, after them, you know what I mean? And I think that's really interesting, and I think that would be a really good direction for the show to go in, and I feel like that you would get rid of Adam sort of early as a threat, but it would still be sort of satisfying, right? Because, you know, you've been waiting for this fight for so long, and so if it does sort of take up, like, the climax portion of this series, like, it would make a lot of sense. If he was after the relic, that sort of, you know, brings in, I guess, the questions that Blake sort of asked, like, if this power gets in the wrong hands, and all that sort of stuff. It also, like, would make all of Team RWBY sort of work together and fight Adam, right? Maybe have Oscar and Crow try to escape with the relic, or actually Crow's, like, more trained as a huntsman than them, so maybe he should partake in this fight. Yeah, know what I'm saying? Like, all of that sort of stuff. And so I feel like it would just be really interesting. It would just be really cool, and, I want him to be on the train. Oh! But here's the other thing. So here's the interesting part. What if Adam didn't make it over to Blake's side of the train, though, because obviously it's cut off, and that's a reference to the Black trailer, but what if, unlike the Black trailer, Adam's like, I'm not letting you cut me off again, Blake, and then he jumps over and, like, hides in, like, the caboose or the end, right? But a lot of people were saying, what if he didn't have time to jump and he actually goes after Juniper? And I actually like that theory best. So, in my order of, like, what I would want to happen, I think the Juniper idea, like, for him to, like, kidnap or, like, try to fight Team Juniper and be like, I told Blake I would kill everything that she loves and I'll start with you three, or, like, I'll hold you hostage and then she'll come to, like, when they get to Argus, like, she'll have to fight me, you know, like, just all of that sort of stuff, right? Like, if they had to fight Adam, like, wouldn't that just be wild? And then maybe the end game for the season is arriving in Argus and fighting Adam instead of it being in the climax after he sort of reveals himself from the caboose of the train with the relic and all that. What if it's actually the other way and he's actually sort of the end season fight or whatever, and you have, like, him kidnap Juniper and then, like, Team RWBY has to go rescue them, like, all that sort of stuff. So that's the other alternative idea, and I actually like that idea better, but I think both could easily happen. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, again, you guys should become patrons over on Patreon if you guys want to support the channel. I'm so happy to be making this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Thank you to our wonderful patrons over on Patreon for supporting the channel. Patrons get a bunch of different cool rewards ranging from access to VIP chats or getting video tickets, which can basically be used to request us to do videos, for example. We can advance early access or access to our Discord server. All of those are rewards that our patrons can get, and it's pretty cool. I do recommend it if you guys want to support the channel. We have so much fun talking on our Discord server about whatever it may be, whether that's RWBY or Kingdom Hearts or Miraculous Ladybug, right? And the early access helps you guys obviously get to see our videos before anybody else does, and so that's also pretty cool. The VIP chat is pretty exclusive. I can reply, like, a bit faster there. It's a bit more one-on-one. So if you guys are interested in any of those, I do suggest that you guys become patrons over on Patreon. The link is in the description, and thank you again for all of our patrons for helping us out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.